As a school nurse records the height, which is 8 centimeters, of each of the 150 students in a class who was vaccinated, right? Now, number 5 is always going to be statistics, right? It's always going to be some type of statistics. This is the statistics question, right? So your height is in H, your students would be F, okay, which is your frequency. So let's understand how to read this graph, right? For the heights from 60 to 80, right? We have 4 students having these heights, right? So that simply means that these students have a height of greater than 60, right? But up to 80, okay? Their height is within that range, right? 20 students have heights greater than 80 and up to 100. Their heights are within that range, right? So is everybody clear on how to read this graph, right? Let me ask Haley Kilowan, how many students have a height greater than 140 and up to 160? Haley Kilowan. Greater than 140 and up to 160. Haley not there. Nia, you see why I don't call people without camera? Nia, how many students? 20. Excellent, right? So that's how we read this graph. So let's see what the question actually asking, right? They said to complete the table, we show, oh, no problem, Haley. Just got it there. Right, so complete the table below and use the information to calculate an estimate of the mean height of the students. Give your answer correct to 1 decimal, please, right? So your midpoint of each class interval is simply 60 plus 80 divided by 2, you get 70. 80 plus 100 divided by 2, you get 90. So the midpoint is in between that range, right? So we want to find the midpoint for the class interval, which is greater than 120, but up to 140, right? So that would be, this is how we find it, okay? It's simply gonna be 120 plus 140 divided by 2, which will give us 130 as our midpoint, right? Excellent. Now, F multiplied by X is simply what it means, right? It's a frequency which represents my F's, okay? Multiplied by the midpoint which represents, well, which is represented by X, okay? So, for that line, what is F multiplied by X there, Kyle? 67 multiplied by 30. 130, sorry. We're getting there. 2000 hour? You're sounding low, boy. 2000 and 8, right? 8,710, right? 8,710. Okay, everybody good there? All right, let's work. Right? So, what is the mean now? How do we find this thing they call mean, right? You have one formula for mean. Write it in red, please. Mean is an average of the data, right? So what they actually asking us for the mean of? They want the mean height of the students, right? That's the data we're working with. So your mean, my children, which is an average, would be equal to, this means the summation of the column with F multiplied by X divided by the summation of the column with F, right? So let's work to find the summation of my column for F multiplied by X, right? So scrolling up for you all to add it. We have to add up this entire column, and that will be the mean, well, not the mean as yet. That will be the summation of F multiplied by X. Talk to me, bro. Somebody seconded 18,320. We got seconds. Are we there for the next one, bro? Yeah, because the students here. Yeah. When you add up all this, you're supposed to get the students, right? Summation of F is supposed to be 150, right? Because that was the amount of students we have in the class. It was written above here, right? Somebody second that 18,320 before we move. Nia, Zaria, I get a sister?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. So 18,320 divided by 150 would give me 133.13. How much?
1.1.
All right. And they said to some decimal place. They said so to some decimal place above. That's all. Right. Look at the error. So 122.1. Yeah. So 122.1 will be the mean height of the students. Right? Would anybody like to write in class B? The mean height of the students was 123.5 centimeters. And the standard deviation is 29.87. For class A, the standard deviation is 21.38, right? Using the information provided and your response in A, comment on the distribution of the heights of the students in both class A and B, right? Is a measure of how spread out So standard deviation is a measure of how spread out the values of a data set are. It tells how far on average each value is from the mean. So I'm saying the lesser your standard deviation, if your standard deviation is a smaller number, it means that the data is close to the mean, right? If you have a large or a greater standard deviation, it implies that the data is more spread out, right? Meaning that if I take the heights of all the children in this class, right? We have 56 children in the class right now. If I take the data and say the mean is 123, like they suggested here, 123 centimeters, it means that there are a lot, if the standard deviation is greater, it means that the data is more spread out. So it means we have plenty short people, we have plenty tall people, and we have people in between the short people and the middle person, the taller people and the middle person, have more people in between there. But for another class, like say the class I had before, right? If their mean was, say, what was the mean of the other class here? It was 122.1, right? So in that class, if the standard deviation is smaller, it means we really are no extreme short people, and we don't have too much tall people. All the people are around 122.1, right? Centimeters. The standard deviation is smaller. Okay? Now, this actually is a definite, well, what they're talking about here, because it said to use the information provided in your response in and your response in A, comment on the distribution of the heights of the students in both class A and B. So we can proceed to say, so this is the answer for your question, right? So I'll put in part B here. The height of students in class B in class you understand that there, Johan? Right. So remember, the smaller the standard deviation, the more the more that the heights are closer to the mean, which is the average, right? So the heights of the students in class B are more spread out, more spread out are more spread out more spread out than the students in class A because the standard deviation is greater in class B. Not in for class B. Not in for class B. Right? Standard deviation. Complete the cumulative frequency table below and use the information to construct a cumulative frequency curve on the grid provided on page 19, right? Cumulative frequency means that you're adding your frequency coming down, right? So basically, you have all your frequency. This was given above. So for the first class interval, we already examined this table above. The only thing that is new here is the cumulative frequency. So cumulate means you're adding coming down, right? So let me go. 4 plus 20 would give me 24, right? 24 plus 35 will give me what? We're getting there, I'm Kyle. 49? 59. Right, good. Yeah, no, I do that to see if all is sleeping. 59 plus 67 would give me the 126. 126 plus 20 is what? 146. And 146 plus 4 would be 50. We cumulated as we came down, right? Raise your hand if you understand cumulative frequency. One of the easiest things in statistics. One of the easiest things in statistics would be cumulative frequency. But the whole class understand cumulative frequency, boy. Proper thing. There we go. Use the cumulative frequency curve to find an estimate of the mean height of the group of students, right? So what we're going to look at right now is the mean position, right? It's in red. So the mean position, right? Median, sorry. Yeah. Median. Chiffon on top of things, boy. Right. So the median position, now the median position is really like n plus 1, but I was doing some research on it, right? And they were saying you could just use n over 2 because it will give you about the same thing, right? So n over 2 would be the total number of students, which will be 150 divided by 2, right? And we're looking for the 75th value, right? That's what we're looking for, the 75th value or the 75th student, right? So, where would the 75th student be, boy? Okay? So you have to find your median using your graph, right? So the first point they have here would be 0 and 60, which would be the lowest, the lower class limit here, and 4. Not 4, they start with 0. 60 and 0. The next one will be 80 and 4. Right? 80 and 4. So they counted in twos here. This will be 2 are scrolling in, right? So you have 0, then you go to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this will be 80 and 4. CXC does contradict themselves so much. CXC does say when you're plotting the points, it must be the upper class boundary, not the upper class limit. But it's looking like it's on 80.5 and on. All you find so? Here will be 90. So this will be 82, 84, 86, 88, and then 90. So here will be 81, 80.5 be here. I don't think so. I think it's on 80. Here on 100, right? So we just roll in what CXC have. So recreate this graph quickly. Quickly. So all my coordinates for the cumulative frequency curve will be the upper class boundary of each, the upper class limit, sorry, of each class interval, comma, the cumulative frequency. Upper class limit, comma, cumulative frequency, coming down, right? Now, CXC, this particular time, they actually started with the lower class boundary here and 0. They use 0 as the first cumulative frequency, right? This is what they started with, this particular question. Right, so I wrote down all my coordinates on the side here. I plotted the points that were missing, which is 120, comma, 59, and 160, comma, 146. So I'll go in. So I'll start in here. That would be my cumulative frequency curve. So they said use the cumulative frequency curve to find an estimate of the median height of the group of students, right? So we're looking for the median height. We already established that the median position will be the 75th value, right? So there we go. So we're looking for the median height. We have the 75th. 75th value. That'll be here. 75 will be in between 70 and 80. Let me draw a line. So we're coming across here to see what height it lines up with. So some of us might get slightly off measurements. I'll tell you all exactly what I am getting, right? Okay. So I come along here. It's looking like I get about 125. Tell me what you're getting there. Anybody got 125?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good.
Yes.
Right, nice. Right, so scrolling back up. Right. So estimate the median height of the group. So the median height will be equal to 126 centimeters. No, 125 centimeters. Right? Anybody got 126? Raise. For a question like this, you will have a range of answers that will be correct because not everybody gonna draw their curve perfectly. Right? Okay, so we're scrolling down. All right, that the end of the question? No, wait, it's our next part up here. The probability that a student chosen at random will be taller than 130 centimeters, right? So I'm going to 130 centimeters now, which will be in the middle here, to figure out how many students chosen at random would be 130, right? So we go in here. Right, so 130 would be, I have it exactly as 90. What you all getting? Zaria, what you get?
Yes,
130. So remember, 130 would be in between, 120 and 140. So 130 is here, right? So I'm getting 90 students. That's what I am getting. Right? Anybody get anything different? Christian Hart, what you getting?
I like it.
Work with 86 sister. Keegan, what you get? So,
So I would still get the correct.
yeah, CXC would have a range of answer. That's what your graph saying, right? We can't be perfect out here, right? So, well, you see, the probability that a student chosen at random is taller than 130. So watch this. Where you get student on? Well, right. So I have students that have 130 centimeters would be 90 students, right? Now the question is how many, well, the probability that the student chosen at random would be taller than 130 centimeters. So taller than 130 cm would be equal to, what's the total number of students? What was Kyle? 150. So it will be 150 minus 90, which will give me 60 students. So I have 60 students being taller than 130 centimeters. So the probability of choosing a student greater than, right, 130 centimeters would be equal to the 60 students over the total possible students, which would be 150. And this could be broken down to be what? Zeros cancels. 3 into 6 is 2. 3 into 15 would be 5. So my probability will be 2/5, right? 2/5, or give me it as a decimal. 2/5 is what? 2 divided by 5. 0.4. This will be my probability. Now, for those who never saw probability before, right? Probability, right, would be equal to, yeah, fractional decimal don't matter, right? So your probability would be desired outcome over total possible outcome. Well, outcomes. Outcome. Right? Write this down. Right? That's how we find probability. The diagram below shows a solid made of a semicircular cylindrical base with a rectangular prism above it. The diameter of the cylindrical base and the width of the rectangular prism are 4 centimeters each, right? So the diameter of this semi-cylindrical prism would be 4 centimeters. So from here to here would be 4 centimeters. So if the diameter is 4 centimeters, who could tell me what my radius is?
2 centimeters.
Excellent. So for those who don't know, your radius is equal to diameter divided by 2. So 4 divided by 2 will give me a radius of 2 centimeters, right? So let me see what they're asking us for. Because once you have to find anything to do with that semi-cylindrical prism there, you would have to engage your radius. Calculate the total surface area of the solid, right? Surface area A of a cylinder with radius r is a equals to 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r by height. Now this is the surface area of a cylinder. Are we dealing with a cylinder, Mr. Kyle? Are we dealing with a full cylinder? No. Excellent. So we have to divide by 2. So the cylindrical prism would actually be equal to the same formula, 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r by height divided by 2. Right? Well, this is actually the surface area, right, of the semi-cylindrical prism would be the area of the full cylindrical prism divided by 2. So there we go. We already know what we know what R is. Did they say what to use pi as? Let's see if they said what to use pi as. They did not, so we'll use pi as 22 over 7, right? And height. This height we are speaking about will be the height of the cylinder, this semicircular cylindrical base prism, right? Now, the height will be the distance from one semicircle to the next. What's the distance from one semicircle, which is on this side here? So it's like from this point to this point. What's that distance there, which will be the height of the semi-cylindrical prism? From here to here, what's that distance? Anybody see that? 12. Excellent. So this would be 12 centimeters, right? So we have, so what shall we have, right? In order to find this here, we have R, which is equal to 2 centimeters, right? R is 2 centimeters, right? Pi will be equal to 22 over 7. A should be equal to 12. So let's substitute now, right? So the surface area of, this is just the semi-cylindrical prism, right? Is equal to 2 by 22 over 7 by 2 squared, which is r squared, plus, so you have to look at all of this as 1, right? Plus 2 by 22 over 7 by a radius, which is 2, by a height, which is 12, right? So somebody work out this entire thing, and then when you press equal, divided by 2, right? Ooh. Right. Bigger than Kyle. Oh, 176 divided by 2, which will give me what? 88. 88 was it centimeters, bro? Let me just confirm that. Yes, centimeters squared. Now, all this gave me, right, is this give me the curved surface underneath the two semicircles on the side. That's all that gave me, right? I still have a real thing to do in this question. You'll realize it's 4 marks, eh? 4 marks. So we find the curved surface. So let me call it curved surface 1. You find the surface 2 and 3. That's what we find. Let me show you how much surfaces we still have to find. We have a square on the side here. Let me call that 4. Let me call this square here 5. You still have this rectangle in the front, 6, and the rectangle in the back, 7. Then you have the rectangle on top, which will be 8. Okay? 8 surfaces it actually has in this sheet. So these squares, let me do, what shall we could do? We could do it, we could do it as one. I'm doing it on it here. Total surface area. So we had the 88 already, right? Plus, is it 2 by 4 by 4? That represents the two squares. Everybody good there? Raise your hand if you're good there. 2 by 4 by 4. Raise your hand if you're good there. That represents the square on this side and the square on this side. Follow the arrow. That will represent the squares. Do we have two rectangles here measuring 12 by 4? So I can do 2 plus 2 by 12 by 4. And then the last rectangle, which is the rectangle on top. Who could tell me wait, is 3 12 by 4? Yes, 3 12 by 4. So I could erase that too. All right, let me make life easy. I erase this. It's 3 12 by 4 rectangles, right? So work out this and give me the total surface area of this prism above there. Actually, find this a really nice question. Where again, there's Xaviera? Xaviera, Sam. You understand what I'm doing, sister?
Yeah.
Oh, I doesn't get time to talk to your mom, boy. How your marks going? Coming up?
Yeah.
Ve Very good. I'm super proud of you. You in what? You in form what? Form 3 or 4?
4.
4. Right. And you roll over the big dogs here. This is the form 5s. Right? So get yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah.
We talk about 264 centimeters squared. So I hear 3 people saying that, so we can confirm that. Shannon, you get that?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Right? Volumes are right, okay? So the volume, so write with me, volume, I'm writing it on top here because I suffer for space. Volume of any prism is equal to the area of the cross section right, multiplied by the height or length. Remember I tell you it's like length if it's lying down and height if it's standing up, right? So I'll put length or height, right? This is just my thing so that you will always know what we talk about, right? Now the cross section, I tell you all over and over, anybody who was in class with me here from Genesis, are always related to the baby toy, right? If a baby have to stick that block in one of those toys, right? What does have it does have a rectangle, it does have like a square, right? It does have like a triangle, all these things. If a baby had to take this here, this shape above, and stick it through the cross section, what the cross section would look like, guys? What is the cross section here? Would it be this cylinder and a square on the side here? Would it go through that smoothly, or would it be like this rectangle or rectangle on top? What would it be, guys? What is the cross section of this shape? Who could tell me? Would it be the side here, or would it be anything else? Anybody could take a guess? Hello. So the cross section will be this face here. We need to find the area of that face and then just multiply it by the length of the prism, which will simply be 12. 12 is the distance from one cross section to the next one, right? Now this cross section on the side here is actually just a square and a semicircle, right? So watch it. We need to find, so the area of the cross section Let me erase this, right? Area, the area of the cross section would be equal to the area of the square plus the area of the semicircle, right? So the area of the square obviously was 4 multiplied by 4, right? Now the area of the semicircle would have been 2, not 2, pi r squared. I'll put it on this side here and let's write the book in here, right? It'll be the formula for area of a circle. It'll be pi r squared. The formula for area of a circle divided by 2, right? That's the area of a semicircle. So pi would be 22 over 7 by r, the radius was 2 squared, divided by 2 because it is a semicircle, right? So you can work out this as 1 and give me the answer there. So you put in brackets 4 multiplied by 4, and then you put 22 over 7 and multiply by 4 in another bracket divided by 2. Where you getting there? Zaria, what you getting?
1.
Sure. Sarah, you get that?
Yes.
22.29. Kyle, you get that? Right. So this will be the area of the cross section. So the volume of the solid, which is a prism, would be equal to the area of the cross section multiplied by the length. And what this will give us? What is the volume of the solid?
267.4.
That correct? Right. Property.
Science point point. I mean, point 43, not 48.
4-3 or 4-8? Somebody had a second. 4-3 or 4-8? 4-8. Check it over, Annalise. Check it over too, Kyle. Annalise, where again? It'll be 4-8 because
Yeah, because we have to,
yeah,
I
4-8.
just multiplied from the answer I had from
Before,
and
oh,
then put it in calculator.
all right, that's okay, that's okay. You know, you will still get your marks, right? So we found the volume. Volume is measured in what? Centimeters cube. Boom. Right? Now, they said the solid is made out of gold. 1 cubic centimeter of gold has a mass of 19.3 grams. 1 cubic centimeter has a mass of 19.3 grams, right? How much centimeters cube we have? How much cubic centimeters we have above here? 267.48. And it's saying 1 is 19.3 grams. The cost of 1 gram of gold is 42.62. Calculate the cost of the gold used to make the solid. Let me find out how much grams we have first now. So total grams of gold. How would I find that? Anybody knows? What am I multiplying? 1. No, listen. 1 centimeter cube, sister, is 19.3 grams, right? 1 centimeter cube. You are 267.48 centimeters cube. How will we find out how much gold we have in total?
Right?
What we divided?
267.47.
Ooh. Hold on, guys. centimeters cubed. They say 1 cubic centimeter of gold has a mass of 19.3 grams. So the total grams for all the gold will be 267.48 multiplied by 19.3, which will give me what? Where's that Cal had? 67, you say? Point. Right? Somebody want to second that?
Yes, sir, that's it.
Right. So we go in. This is how much, I don't know if the cubic centimeters shown us off, right? This is how much cubic centimeters we have, right, Zaria? Right? 1 cubic centimeter has a mass, 1 cubic centimeter. So 1 out of this 267.48 cubic centimeters, one of them has a mass of 19.3 grams. 1 little gram from that big piece of gold above. No, 1 cubic centimeter, sorry, has a weight of 19.3 grams. So if I want to find out what is the weight of 267.48 centimeters cubed, what would I have to do? You have to multiply, right? Anybody need clarification again? Tristan, you good there? Right, so let me go. How would I find the cost now? What would be the cost of the gold? You multiply again, right? Because 1 gram of gold is $42.62, right? So to find the cost of 5,162.36 grams, you need to multiply by 42.62. That's good here, Zaria? Right, and what we get? How much money does this? Big money for this gold.
220,019 sorry, and 95.
So 0.95, any point, anything?
19 and 196, not 95.
Now I get Kyle? And 78 cents. That's where I get, Annalise?
Yes, sir.
Right. So that is how much our goal cost. So we go in. Let me examine this thing here, boy. At an entertainment hall, tables and chairs can be arranged in 2 different ways as shown in the diagram below. So arrangement L, we have like a rectangle here. You have three chairs on either side, 2 at each head, right? And this one, you have 3 on either side, or they went up by, they add another table and you get to add 4 chairs. You all see that? You get to add 4 chairs. You add another table, you can add 4 more chairs. So every table you add, you can only add 4 chairs, right? That's how this one rules. Now for arrangement M, right? For arrangement M, you add another table. How much chairs again here? How much extra chairs again to put here? Anybody seen it? For this one, when I add this table here, how much chairs again to add? 6. Right? That's the pattern for this one. You get to add those 6 chairs because these 2 chairs were already here. Right? And when you add another table here, you get to add 6 more chairs, right? So this bad boy up here, arrangement L going up by 4 and arrangement M going up by 6. So draw a diagram of 4 tables using arrangement L. Good boy. Hey, I just do that here. I don't want to waste time on it, right? Obviously, you'll have to draw another table here. These 3 chairs will go here. Everybody agrees? Raise your hand if you agree with me. Right. How much chairs I put in here? I put in 2 chairs here and 2 chairs here. So on arrangement L, this would be 4 tables, right? We didn't waste the time drawing that. That's things you could draw in CXC, right? Everybody got here who does not understand why I did this or what I did? Raise your hand. Who does not understand? Right, move in. That was 4. Right. So we don't know what's going on already because we already assessed our diagrams. So we know this bad boy going up by 4. And we know this bad boy going up by 6. Right? So what they want us to do, why they want us to do this rule. So if we're going up by 4 here, give me these two numbers here and Kyle. Or anybody. And here going up by 6. What is will be? 22 and
28.
now point to note, always watch this to make sure that is the next number. Sometimes they just put like a 6 here and they ask you to work out this. Talk to me, Tristan. Right. So let's get the formulas underneath here. So what you could do, most of the times, whatever you're adding here is what you're multiplying by this first number, right? So that's let me erase this. So if you have 4 being added, it will more than likely be 4 multiplied by 1 plus something will give you this 10, right? So 1, 4 is 4, 4 plus 6 is 10, right? Let's try it here and see if it works, right? 4 by 2 would give me 8. Would 8 plus 6 be 14? Huh? 8 plus 6, would that give you 14?
Yes.
Yes. Right? So yeah, that's only on a test 2, right? That's test 2, and you will get it. So this what we're multiplying here would be n. So we could safely say that this formula would be 4n plus 6. Cool? That will be the formula for my is this arrangement L? Yes, I believe this is arrangement L, right? Number of chairs for arrangement L. Right. Now let's go to arrangement. Is it M? Yes, arrangement M. So I'm going to erase this now. Erase this. Right. So this will be 6 by 1 plus what number will give you 10? 6 by 1 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. 6 by 2 is 12. Is 12 plus 4 16? We're looking at the last column, right? Yes. So that will be the formula for this column here. 6n plus 4. Excellent. Right? We good there? That's our formulas. So for this column now, all they gave us was the last number here, which is 130. So we actually have to use this number, take this number, form an equation, and solve for n, right? So where would I get some space? Let me do it in the corner here. So I'm going to form an equation. So 6n plus 4 is going to be equal to 130. So I'm going to carry 4 here and do what with it, Annalise? The opposite of plus is 2?
Minus.
So the 130 minus 4, 6n is equal to 126. What do I do with the 6 when I carry there? Divide. 126 divided by 6, what would n be equal to? 21? 21. 21, right? So n, which is here, will be 21. But we have a formula for this column, which is 4 by n, 21 in this case, plus 6 would give us this number underneath here. So what would this number be equal to? 90? Everybody good there? Patterns question, right? So the main thing I want you all to do is to figure out your formulas before you proceed to do like these types, well, this line down here, right? You're more than likely have to form an equation and solve. It's always going to be like that, right? Everybody good there? Which of the arrangements, L or M, will allow him to rent the least number of tables, right? Use calculations to figure it out, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these formulas, equate it to 70, and see which one is giving me the lesser value for n. So I'm going to say 4n plus 6 is equal to 70. And then I'm going to say 6n plus 4 is equal to 70. Right? So what do I do here with the 6 when I carry it here, guys? Take away. So 4n is equal to 70. Take away 6. 4n is equal to 64. What do I do with the 4 when I bring it there? 64 over 4. N is equal to,
60.
what do I do with the 4 when I carry it here? What do I do with the 4?
Minus.
70 minus 4. 6n is equal to 66. Divide the 6 here. N is equal to 66 divided by 6. N is equal to 11. Right. Now, which one of the arrangements, this was arrangement L. So this was arrangement L. This was arrangement M. Right? So here what's going on. For arrangement L, we basically have to rent 16 chairs, right? For 70 guests, right? And for arrangement M, we need to rent 11 for how much guests? Same 70 guests, right? So which one is the better arrangement? How much are same chairs is table? Which one do we have to rent the least number of tables? Arrangement M, right? So this is tables. Okay? So I can just put a little statement on it here. Therefore, arrangement M allows him to rent the least. Right? What does no more than? Huh? Excellent. Going back to it, a rental company has X cars and Y minivan. The company has at least 8 vehicles together. At least means greater than or equal to, right? At least 8. Okay? So they start to write down 3 inequalities in terms of X and Y other than X is greater than or equal to 0 and Y is greater than or equal to 0 to represent this information, right? So if the company has at least 8 vehicles together, that will be greater than or equal to 8. At least. Go to the shop and bring at least 8 Coke. That means they're bringing 8 Coca-Colas or more, right? That is one inequality. They said the number of minivans will be represented by Y, is less than or equal to the number of cars. That is my second inequality. And then the number of cars, which will be X, is no more than 9, right? No more than 9 must be less than or equal to 9, right? Everybody good here? Tristan, you good here? Tristan, yeah, your mic was on. My phone not close by. What going? But up here, the class I had before earlier, I was getting real problems with internet. So I used my phone, but I had to put my phone in a strategic point outside. Yeah, I will check it just now. All right, let's go. A car can carry 4 people and a minivan can carry 6. There are at most 60 persons to be taken on tour. So at most 60. At most 60 persons. That means that's the maximum. So anything we working on must be less than or equal to 60. So show that 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 30. Now if it's 4 people, a car can carry 4 people. So the total amount in the cars will be 4 by x plus the total amount in the minivan will be 6 by y. And this will be less than or equal to 60. Everybody good there? Less than or equal to 60. Now, this entire inequality can be broken down. So you can divide here by the HCF of 4, 6, and 60. That HCF would be 2. 2 could be divided by everybody here. So 2 into 4x would give me 2x. Plus 2 into 6y would give me 3y. Less than or equal to 30. So you put a little box to indicate it was shown. Who doesn't understand what is going on here? Let me know. Follow, right? I'm going to write on the first inequality on top, which is x plus y is greater than 30. So we have x plus y is greater than or equal to 8, right? That was my first inequality. Okay? Now, in order to draw this on the graph, we will first have to write it as an equality, sorry. X plus y is equal to 8. So this is what we do. You have to look at two situations. You have to look at when x is equal to 0 and when y is equal to 0. We're going to plug these two values into the equality and get the coordinates of 2 points. So when x is 0 and I plug it into the equality, you'll have 0 plus y is equal to 8. 0 plus y is equal to 8, right? 0 plus y will just be 0. Not 0, sorry. 0 plus y will be y. Okay? So y will be equal to 8. So from this value of x being 8, you will have the coordinates 0, 8. This is actually what we call the y-intercept, right? Now the next value here would be when y is 0. So from this, we could get x plus 0 is equal to 8. X plus 0 would be x. X is equal to 8. This coordinate here would be 8, 0, right? So these two points here, the coordinates of these 2 points can now be used to plot the line x plus y is equal to 8. So let me plot my points and draw my line. So you have 0, 8, and 8, 0. I'm going to draw this in red. 0, 8, and 8, 0. And you connect the 2 dots, right? That will be my first line. Boom. Right. Line number 1. Now you can stop at the line or you can extend it. Doesn't matter, right? Okay, that's my first line, and we're going to label that line x plus y is equal to 8. That's the equality. It's the equation of the line that we use to find or to locate our... I done that question. All right, nice. So we use the equation of the line in order to draw the line, right? So we're going down. The other two inequalities, I believe one was x is, no, y. Y was greater than or equal to x, if I'm not mistaken. Let me scroll up and just confirm that. Y is less than or equal to x. Y is less than or equal to x. So this is the equality that we can get from this equality. That equality will just be y is equal to x. Now, the line y is equal to x is simply a line where every coordinate, the value of x is equal to the value of y, right? So it's going to look like this. It's going to, points on that line will be like 1, 1, like, 9, 9, 9, 9, 10, 10. All these are points on that line, right? So I'm going to draw the line y is equal to x now. So I'll start at 0, 0, which will be here, and you're coming up. Boom, bang. Right? So I'm going to label that line now. I'm going to label it y is equal to x, right? Y is equal to x. Now the next inequality, let's go up. The next inequality would be x is less than or equal to 9. So I'm going to write it down here. X is less than or equal to 9 would give us x is equal to 9. So x is equal to 9 will simply be a vertical line running from top to bottom and passing through where x is 9. So that line would be here. X is 9 would be here. All right, I'm gonna go straight up with it, right? X is equal to 9. Right? So I'm going to label it now. X is equal to 9. Okay. And my last one, right? No, Leo. Right. Sorry, what that there, guys? Right, so we're going. We have x is equal to 9. Now, the last inequality would be 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 30. So I need to find some coordinates of that. Right, so right. Right, so 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 30. Right, go ahead, Nia. Right, so it'll be same thing. When x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0, we're going to plug it into the equality, right? I didn't write the equality. Let me write it above here. The equality will simply be 2x plus 3y is equal to 30, right? 2x plus 3y is equal to 30. That's the equality. Well, the equation. So we're going to have 2 by 0 plus 3y is equal to 30. 2 by 0 is 0. 0 plus 3y will just leave me 3y is equal to 30. We carry the 3 here and you do the opposite of multiply, which is to divide. Y will be equal to 10. So this coordinate will be 0, comma 10. All right? Then when y is 0 now, I'm going to do 2x plus 3 by 0 is equal to 30. 3 by 0 is 0. 2x plus 0 would be 2x equals 30. Carry the 2 here, you're going to divide it. X will be equal to 30 divided by 2. X will be equal to 15. So this coordinate will be x as 15 and y as 0. So I'm going to plot these points, right? 0, 10, and 5, 15, 0. So 0, 10 would be 0 on the x, 10 on the y. That'll be up here, right? And then 15, 0 would be down here. So I need to draw that line also. Okay, so this thing is work. It's not an easy, well, it's not that it's hard, it's not a short question. It's pretty long. Right, let me make this a little more precise because that affects your answers. It must be precise. Right. Now, the range that satisfies all the inequalities would be a line, well, a range or a space bounded by all the lines, which cannot be this triangle up here. It will have to be this shape down here, right? They said to shade it, right? We're going to shade it. And what did they say to label it by? Let's see what they said to label it. Label it R, right? They said shade and label it. So this will be my R. This will be my region that satisfies all 4 inequalities, right? Now, sometimes you could check it. You could check to see where is less than, right? So like if y is less than x, that will be actually under your line, right? X is less than or equal to 9, that will be to the right, and then under, etc., right? Greater than here, x plus y is greater than 8 would mean it's over the line, but it's basically going to be the line that is bounded by all 4 lines, right? Not the line, sorry, the region that is bounded by all 4 lines. Did I label this line? No. You must label all your lines, eh, guys? So this one here was 2x plus 3y is equal to 30, right? Well, let's see what the next part of the question is asking. They said determine 2 combinations for the minimum number of cars and minivans that can be used for, well, to carry exactly 60 people on tour. Now, these 2 combinations is simply looking for the coordinates for the vertices of the region we're looking at. So we're looking at this vertex here, which will actually be 6, 6. This coordinate here, which will actually be 9, 4, and this one here is 4, 4. Here would be 8, 0, and here would be 9, 0. So if they're looking for 2 combinations, right? 2 combinations, so the minimum number of cars and minivans that can be used to carry 60 people, right? So let's try 6, 6 and 9, 4, right? To find the minimum number of cars and minivans that can be used to carry these 60 people. Okay, so determine 2 combinations for the minimum number of cars and minivans that can be used to carry exactly 60 people on tour. You're looking at the vertices here, and you're checking to see which pair of coordinates, when I plug it into this inequality here, I will actually be able to carry these 60 people, right? And those would be, wait, all right. It had a real noise here. All hear that noise? All hear the noise, guys? Oh, all right. Right, there you go. I just want to write it. So, right, these 2 combinations would be 6, 4, and so we're looking for the 2 combinations that actually have the greatest numbers. So it'll be 6, 6 and 9, 4. It's not 6, 4. 6, 6 and 9, 4. Right? So when you actually plug this into this here, this inequality here, which is the initial one, you will actually get 60, right? Exactly 60. So watch it. Let me show you all that. So it was initially 4 by 6 plus 6 by 6, right? Okay. So 4 by 6 and 6. So watch it. 4 by 6, because it was 4x plus 6 by 6. That will give you 24 plus 36, which will be 60, right? And then for this one, it will be 9 by, not 9, sorry, 4 by 9, 4 by 9 plus 6 by 4. 9 fours are 36. 36 plus 24 would be 60. So these are the 2 combinations of numbers that will carry exactly 60 people on the tour. What's the last thing here, right? Last thing here for today. I know we're going a little over now, guys, but I don't want to leave this question out. This is the last question, right? So the company charges $75 to rent a car and $90 to rent a minivan. Show that the minimum rental cost for the store would be $990. So the minimum, so for the company charges 75 to rent a car, so it'll be 75 by how much cars it was for this one up here. For 6, 6, it'll be 6 cars and 6 minivans, right? So it'll be 75 by 6 plus 90 by 6. How much again when you work on this? Somebody work it out for me. What you getting when you work this out?
Nine.
900 and?
Nine.
Right. So that's for, okay, so this is for combination 6, right? Now we're doing for combination 9, 4, right? That was the next coordinate we had. So it'll be 75 by 9 plus 75 by 9 plus 90 by 4. Tell me which one, what you getting for this, anybody? Last question here and we done. We were going to press. Okay. 1035, right? So therefore, 990 is the minimum rental cost. So I now realize this whole question was linear programming, right? Yeah, out of the box. Cost, because it was, we had to show. Okay? So guys, we get the 4 questions done that we want.